Roll call 219 here, and this is an update to what I went over yesterday, or actually I should say early this morning, about the incident that happened in Indianapolis at the FedEx place. I watched the press conference this morning. I set my alarm pretty early in the morning, about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Finally got to the point where they had a press conference. So I haven't had a whole lot of sleep. And during the press conference, it was awkward. It was awkward in the points and the facts that they threw out there, that they didn't know who the man was, they didn't know what kind of gun he used, and there was a lot of I don't knows. I know it's an ongoing investigation, even to the point where there was, at this point, tons of eyewitnesses there saying this guy worked there at one time or another, and they deemed to say that they don't know. So as I watched it, and it started to tail off into the thoughts and prayers for the families that were affected. The people of Indianapolis is going to be strong. They're going to come through it. Yada yada yada. The mayor was on there. So, in light of not knowing what the firearm was, what caliber was used, he called for background checks, and he called for certain things to be regulated. So if we don't know what types of things were used, what inanimate objects were used in this murder, why are you calling for gun control? If you and to say you don't know who this guy is, I highly doubt that. Not only that, the policeman that was the spokesperson on the stage even admitted, he didn't want to, but admitted that they were going to this guy's house, and they've been at this guy's house. Not even that, the reporter has said, well, we kind of get the gist that there's cops in other locations. So the media knows what's going on. So it's just really odd how these certain things haven't come out. Usually when this stuff happens, like in Colorado, it was boom. It was right there on the screen. This is what the guy used, especially in the coming days from that, when CNN was calling for FFLs to have psychological degrees and touting pistols and pistol braces as the worst thing that's ever been created. It was just very odd that they didn't come out and give more details. Now, granted, I know it's an investigation. It's got to go through its paces and its cycles. But in some instances, like Osama bin Laden, they knew within an hour or two that it was Osama bin Laden. In the case of Boulder, they knew it was an AR pistol or something around that nature that was used. In this case, they don't quite know yet. And it's just odd. It's odd that they don't know, but yet the mayor of that city is calling for gun control. This is what I talk about all the time about the media, about politicians in general. That these people always played this cat and mouse game. Now, eventually it'll come out what this guy used to do his dastardly, disgusting deeds. But it's just odd how we don't know what it is. It's odd how in other cases where a firearm has been used inappropriately, that it's right there in front of us, the media is touting it. Not only that, I got my internet to actually work, and I watched CNN. CNN did not drive the narrative. They didn't. They did have an expert on there who said shit should be NFA'd and restrictions, and she touted a lot of bullshit narratives, and then snapped back at the gun community of how we have a straw man talking points, and so on and so forth. So there was that little inklet of it. And on top of it, they did have a lady that was on Capitol Hill talking about gun control, background checks. What if this guy passed his background check like the last guy? Again, background checks don't work. And it's odd to see these people not give us what type of firearm was used inappropriately. And it's odd to see that they're not giving any kind of information on this guy, who this guy is, the motive. Like, a lot of people don't understand what the motive is. From what I've been seeing online is this place was a shit place to work. There was a lot of negativity. There's a lot of people at ends with each other. So maybe instead of blaming the gun, you start looking at FedEx and their working environments. How about that? I mean, again, there's a lot of stuff that was just odd in this press conference. There's a lot of stuff that may not be fitting the narrative. Okay? So again, I hate to sit here and speculate, but I just think it's odd that we don't have any more information. And it's basically the same kind of information that we were fed last night, which is just odd. At this point, they should at least know the caliber, the type of firearm, and where these people were shot at. He kind of tiptoed around the spot. He would say he was outside, then he went inside for a brief moment, and he was outside. No definitive locations of where these people were shot and killed. It's just really odd the way that press conference went on this morning. Hopefully, in the next coming hours, or at the end of today, we will find out these clues. But again, I understand it's an ongoing investigation, so you don't have to beat me up in the comments below. I just thought it was odd. I thought it was odd, the presentation of what was going on, and then the further call for gun control. The further call for imposing what Biden thinks and others on Capitol think is going to work in order to keep people safe. That's all I have. I have literally squat to go on at this point, and we'll just have to wait and see. Again, I don't know if this thing's going to be on a string or not, but it's just odd how a lot of these things happen and the media touts it right away, and they figure out right away what was used in an inappropriate way and who the guy was. Just odd. Like always, I'll catch you on the next one.